My name's Amber Knowles Morris.
Where were you originally born?
I was born in Arcadia, Florida.
Okay. Small little town?
Oh, small town. Everybody knows everybody.
Gosh. And you are kind of on the streets right now? Or?
Yeah, I was blessed with a hotel room, but today's my last day. But pretty much I live in a tent. I literally actually right over here behind a tent actually set up for me that I was actually staying in before I got the hotel for a little bit.
I could tell there was homeless camps back there. Just when I drove by, I noticed. You could kind of tell it has that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then, you have little spots behind like Burger King and stuff, but they're really, the cops kind of are, they're pretty. Some of them are lenient, but some of them are just outright nasty. They kind of get it. What are you supposed to do? There's resources, but there's not. When you have no phone, you have no money, you have no bike, or you like me, I need 2 hip replacements. It's hard to get around sometimes. So how are you going to go get the resources? And they make it so much more difficult sometimes. I swear, without having a phone, you're cut off from basically society.
In this small town, how many homeless people do you think there are here?
Oh, a good probably at least a good 1,000 or so. There's more than a lot.
More than you would think.
Way more than you would think.
Yeah.
And even just from age bracket as well, like young kids to older adults in wheelchairs and have disabilities and stuff.
Because when people think about homelessness, they don't exactly think a small town.
Oh no, small town. It doesn't matter. Being homeless, it doesn't matter where you're at. You're in a big city, being in a small town doesn't exclude you from being homeless by no means.
Okay. You said you were in a tent. Have you had your stuff stolen a lot?
Oh yeah. I replaced 3 phones just alone in 1 week, literally from being stolen. Between stolen, the raccoons have gotten all my food before. And then the weather with, the rain, then you got stuff that gets molded, and it's a never-ending nightmare.
Understood. What is, for you personally, the hardest thing about being on the streets?
Sometimes it's just the fact of to be comfortable with like the weather situation. When it rains, if you don't get your stuff covered and it gets wet, you're working 10 times harder basically, because you have to hand wash all of your stuff on top of the fact of going to the laundromat and getting soap and cutting containers open just to get enough laundry soap because you're so broke at the moment, and just to wash your stuff to just have to rewash it because the rain and the cold, having to have 2 hip replacements right now, the little bit of slight coolness, it really plays a big part on you.
So, you look young, obviously. So, why the hip replacement?
Actually, it was from an injury from when I was 8. I ended up, I got pushed off a water slide and broke my hip. Well, now that I've babied my left one so much, I've screwed my right one up. So now I have to have 2 of them done. And they told me this 5 years ago, and it's like, everyone's like, well, you need to have surgery. Well, how can you have surgery when you're homeless? What do? Have surgery, have 2 hip replacements, and go live in a ditch?
How long have you been homeless for?
Going on about 2.5 years now from this bracket. For almost a year, I was living with someone, and I had a little camper, whatnot. But before that, I had another year bracket of 3 years.
Okay. What has kept you homeless for just prolonged periods?
Well, when trying to get a job, not just my physical, problems. I actually had one. I was living in Tampa temporarily. I had a job, and I lost my job because of the fact that I was late all the time with trying to make sure I had a shower beforehand, I was presentable, and getting there on time. And they were pretty upset that they had to fire me because of the fact of my tardiness of trying to put my stuff somewhere, hide it so nobody steals it, so when I get off I actually have clothes and stuff. And it's just because between that, and they were really good about lenient about being with, I didn't have my social security, I didn't have my ID, they helped me pay for my ID. But it's just the fact of it's a never-ending reoccurrence of somebody stealing my stuff and trying to protect it and being late, or just the slightest, no phone, no paperwork, birth certificate, social. Those things are really big keys, and just trying to stay afloat.
Okay, so what is the nicest thing somebody's ever done for you in the time you've been homeless?
From just the fact that when you see the weather's cold or whatever, I've had people just randomly give me stuff, or just let me stay, a place knowing, hey, it's cold outside, do you want to come stay here for the night or whatever? And it's a big gesture that even with me being homeless, a lot of people know me as, hey, do you need some clothes, or hey, are you hungry?
People do help.
They do, they really do.
That's awesome.
Sorry.
It's all good. So you're thankful that people have been so considerate towards you.
Very very considerate in the fact that, even people would be like, for you being homeless, you have a lot of stuff. And I'm like, about 75% of the clothes that I have in my room right now, they don't fit me. They're not even women's clothes. But I've literally, the first cold snap we had, I had a little buggy I carried, and I picked up every blanket I had, every jacket, long sleeve pants, and I literally was walking to the store to take somebody else something, and I literally was just passing it out to people that were walking that I knew that they kind of either, even if they wasn't homeless, it was cold out and they had a thin jacket, and I'm like, hey, you need another sweater, And it's just like, people throw stuff away. You don't even know. I don't even want to get started on the stuff that they throw away, and especially food and at places that's supposed to be there to help you. I've literally took one of these buggies and filled it completely 1.5 times from a church dumpster, instead of just putting it in front of the dumpster and letting people just come up and get it or whatever. No, they just throw it away, and then the cops to come get onto you and harass you about getting in it because you're starving and hungry and have no money. They would rather it go in the trash than to actually just help somebody. It's crazy.
You've been homeless in Tampa and you've been homeless in a small rural town, Arcadia.
Yes.
Where do you think people are more generous, Tampa or Arcadia?
Depending. To be honest, this is my hometown, and I dreaded coming back. I really did, because the fact that I used to have a state job, a house, a car, all of that.
So it's hard for you to see the people that you grew up around to see you like this.
And everybody knows your past, and a lot of people don't let your past go. When you get in trouble once, it's like that's all they tag you with. They never let it go. They never see that you're trying or doing better, even when you are. I mean, even after I, got done my time for, society, whatever, I worked 2 jobs 7 days a week, and people, I was walking down the road and they literally called my mother. I had $150, and they called my mom and it's like, oh, she's drunk or something, she's all messed up, but wouldn't even just stop and say, hey, what's going on, you okay? And I had a migraine so bad, the heat was making it worse. I was sick as a dog and dying of thirst. And it's like, Tampa, nobody knows you there, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, they don't hold your past. It makes me feel more comfortable. I mean, I'm like, I miss Tampa, actually. I thought I would never say that I would miss it, because I kicked and screamed. My husband tried to get me to move up there for the longest. I kicked and screamed, and I'm like, now that I was kind of like forcefully having to come back here, I'm like, I miss it. I want to go back, because the fact that up there I'm comfortable. Nobody knows me. Nobody holds my past to me. They help you out. They don't know, oh, that's Amber, she did this or whatever in her life, and it's just like, I feel like sometimes just being away from the area that you grew up in, the people is the problem. Like, it really is. Like, they hold you to something that you did. They don't ever forget things that you did wrong, or, you know what I'm saying, you hold that to yourself, this is where I screwed up or whatever, vice versa. And it makes it harder mentally on a person, you know what I'm saying? And like, I feel like sometimes, a lot of times, I can't even say a thing. A lot of times I pretty much self-sabotage myself because of the fact that the location and the people, and it's a little bit just aggravating at times.
You're good. What makes you happy every single day? What makes you happy?
It's a crazy thing. It's a big secret in my life, basically, actually.
Okay.
And surprisingly, it's looked down on because my husband is in prison for something he did when he was 17. And the craziest thing is he motivates me more than anyone to do the right thing and keeps me motivated. And I can't even tell my own family that we've been together for almost 9 years, and I'm married, basically. So, because the fact that my family it's another judgmental thing, like, just because of, his past and whatnot, and that he's still there.
So you are married to him, but he's been gone for how long now?
He's been locked up since he was 17.
Is he getting out or no?
Technically, they said no. But, I mean, he's serving life, but he told me that God promised, he said that he was coming home, and I said, I believed it, and I don't take lightly on believing. I don't let people promise me nothing, put it that way, because they always usually break it, but for some reason, I felt at peace with it and accepted it, and I actually went to school for criminal justice and forensic science. If I had the 10 grand right now, I could have him walk by the evidence, and I have to have the money for a lawyer.
Let me ask you something. Did that happen here in this town?
No, this actually happened in Tampa.
In Tampa. Because, I've noticed that here, let's say, when I look at arrest reports in Tampa, right, they give you one charge. But here, they'll give you like
multiple stacks.
They'll stack your car. Like they'll say, okay, you have a phone, right? So now you're using the phone for furtherance. Now they're all, oh, you're 1,000 feet from a church.
Oh yeah,
and there's a church on every corner in this town.
Every church business, they literally attack 6 charges for one little. They make it way bigger, and it's ridiculous.
And here in Arcadia, they have a church on wheels, so they can bring, if there isn't a church within 1,000 feet, they'll bring the church to you.
Pretty much.
So they can say there was a church within 1,000 feet. So it's really a backward system here as far as.
It really is.
I mean, like other than Manatee County.
It's like I say it's literally country backwoods.
Yeah.
Like folks. I mean, I was born and raised here. I can say it. So you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. But you've experienced the city. You've experienced here. Would you say that there's something wrong with the way crime is looked at here?
Absolutely. I just got arrested twice. That's the whole reason I'm back here.
Yeah.
And wrongfully, like I was living in Tampa, and they said I was here, and I spent 14 days, a total of 2 counties of jail, 14 days in jail. I lost everything I owned. Oh, we're sorry, wrong person, and that's what I got.
Wow.
And literally, I mean, they wouldn't even let me take my purse. And then the first time I got to take my purse, I had 2 purses when I walked in. I only walked out with one because they somehow lost one of mine in evidence. And then the second time, they didn't even let me take my ID, phone, nothing. And I had to go through 2 counties, 14 days altogether for somebody that, oh, sorry, wrong person.
Was that in Tampa?
That was actually, no, it was here. I was living in Tampa, and they said they put an outstanding warrant for my arrest here because, like, the cops that got called, you know, they do the ID check and stuff. Yeah. And he's like, turn around, cuff up. And I'm like, I was like, you're joking, all right? I'm like, I really thought, I was like, this is a sick joke to play, but he's like, no, you have an outstanding warrant, turn around, cuff up. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, this is the worst nightmare ever. But, yeah.
So with all that, I mean, you think that if people were more understanding of I mean, everybody knows what leads to homelessness for the most part. I mean, that's not a secret. If people are just more understanding of people in this situation.
Yeah, it's a lot to do with mental health, too. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand. Put yourself in that shoes. Being homeless, I'm telling you, this is like the hardest, worst job I've ever had because you don't have the luxuries of wash machines and, you know, all of that. You don't, the littlest things that it's so simple. Oh, let me just go put my load of clothes in. No, you have to usually sometimes wherever depending you're at. When I was camping, I had to go actually fetch my own water. Right now, I actually have clothes in my hotel tub that I have to hand wash because I don't have the luxury of putting it in a wash machine. It takes so much time to do that. When you're broke, you have to literally, I've cut the containers to get some more soap just to wash my clothes. You work 10 times harder. Like, if anyone says, people are being, they're homeless, no, we work literally harder to do any and everything that's so simple to everyone else, but yet we get looked down on, and it's kind of crazy because I feel like people should have how they do like the Survivor and stuff. No, they should have a crash course on being homeless. Here, drop you off in a city, no money, no phone, and go, what are you gonna do? Survive. What would you do?
Real talk. And like doing your laundry, people don't realize, so doing your laundry at a laundromat, first you have to pay for this tiny little thing. How much is it for the little?
It's $1.25 usually.
And then you got to pay quarters.
With one regular load at the hotel, just alone with their little wash machine, it's $3.50 for the wash machine and $1.75 just to dry it. And that's just a standard regular load wash machine, nothing extra, nothing big, extravagant. It's literally $3.50 for just a regular load to wash and $1.75 just to dry.
Growing up here in Arcadia, what were your favorite things about living here or memories that you made growing up?
As a kid growing up, it was the fact that, we had the river, we had the mud hole, we had, we had the hangar. We got to, go mudding and, hunting or fishing. We have private, everybody knows somebody, so we got somebody's property to go hunting on. And then just taking our, our trucks down to the mud hole and the hangar and stuff, which has been like the best thing. The movie gallery, those skating rings, the old time stuff.
Like, you ever go to the rodeos?
Oh yeah, I've been the granddaddy of them all, of course, absolutely. We got people that come all over for it.
What town in Florida probably has some of the best Mexican food anywhere?
I love Arcadia. We got the El Parada. We have what is that? The
El Charro.
Yep, the Charro.
They're bomb.
They're the bomb. And a lot of the little, believe it or not, a lot of the little Hispanic stores that, like the Cardenas and stuff, like the little off-the-wall little hole, they have, the best tacos and stuff around here. And, the best, actually, at the Placita over there, they have a bus when I tell you that I was literally, my mouth literally was watering walking by because it smelled so good the other day.
Is there a good barbecue place here?
You got Slim's.
Okay.
That's definitely, a lot of people know
There
about
used
Slim's.
to be a barbecue place, like they have a truck and they're not everywhere. I think they're called like Big Daddies. You ever
Yeah,
seen
they
them?
are Big Daddies, and they're amazing. I mean,
what I'm
and
talking
listen, when I tell you there's enough
Yeah.
food in that plate for literally 2 people, and I
Yeah.
mean, not like, not you eating like a bird, literally,
Yeah.
2 grown people that eat, literally, you couldn't eat out of that plate.
Yeah, like literally out here, I've seen like, I used to live in Fort Myers and the Big Daddies, they'd go to Fort Myers and they'd pack the whole place. And
Oh,
they're
yeah.
from Arcadia.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
they have some amazing food, like, and you literally, like I said, 1 plate, 2 people.
What's last question? I know I'm lying because I said last question. What's the biggest alligator you ever seen out here?
13 foot.
Dang.
Yeah.
You have been amazing. Thank you so much for your
Thank
interview.
you. Thank you
And
for your
I think
time.
it will help a lot of people, enlighten people on their
Yeah,
audits
just
of
keep
homelessness.
going. I mean, even on your bad days, just got to remember, just get through one more day and just keep saying one more day.
Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.